Sure. I mean, if it's like a thread, probably makes sense. It has more information. My tweet was more like just a heads up.
Okay.
And if you guys want, you can to that thread you can add to that thread you have, you can add what we were chatting about of the link and name of each grant. So it would be like say like you take one tweet and you put the phenomic labs, for example, the oops, the phenomics labs, the Twitter we said that we should include because I think it's great to notify them so that they can retweet as well. The Twitter and then just the link to the project and that with all 16.
Okay.
Cool. Bear. I was telling Nate that I have to go in about 5 minutes or something like that. So if you could, either you, Bear, or Nate, if you could take on the rest of the meeting. But I don't think it's going to last that long, anyways.
Yeah, for sure. No problem.
Cool. Thanks. Um, I don't know what else, or if there's anything we can move very quickly into the SPI.
The only other thing that I would ask is that do we need to be doing anything in terms of the communication for the donors? Because I feel like that this is, outside of like having tweets, should we have I don't know, I might spend some time today with the Twitter schedule and see if we can organize that, but I don't know if there's anything. Do we need to be including any type of messaging that we're missing out on for donors outside of put it in your cart and wait for gas to be low and to ensure that they understand that matching can only be happen if you have your Gitcoin passport?
And that you can only donate in Ether and DAI. Other than that, I don't think like donating is fairly straightforward. Maybe maybe what we want is to repeat that content throughout the week, like I don't know, 2 times a week, have like a quick tip for donors. And then I don't know, let me add that there.
I mean, we could refer to the Medium article again, but I do think like having some tweets specifically about the boost and TEC
yeah.
and the credential holders might be something that we want to focus on as well.
Yeah, we should really do something about the TC boost because we haven't TC TA boost. We haven't talked much about it. Quick tweets for donors each week. So the boost and also passport and etc. Yeah, I think that's a good call. We should probably have make a complete thread, even if small, about the boost. I don't think we've done a very good job at promoting that we have that for this round.
How does that work?
So right now is manual. After the round, we are going to take all the data for the donations, and we are going to make a snapshot of wallets, seeing who holds TC or NFTs from the certifications from the academy. And if you hold, we have it is at least 10 TEC, which is like $5, at least 10 TEC, and or at least one certification from the academy. Your matching score, your matching is going to be slightly higher. So like people that are involved with the TC have more power in the donations. And if this works out right, and we'll have to see how this goes. hopefully we can integrate that into Gitcoin Passport for the next round so that everything is automated. And talking about that, I have to follow up with Rex to make the boost script. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be kind of going to be pretty important that we're all pretty focused on engaging with the kind of comms and pushing for new donors, mainly because the previous Gitcoin rounds, it's all been centered around the Gitcoin community, and for the moment, I think that this is the first time they're branching out and saying, okay, we're doing other communities. But with that being said, there are so many other projects available to donate to. I'm looking at it, and I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 times more projects than a typical Gitcoin round. And so we might be seeing a lot less money being donated across these rounds to these projects. And I think this is going to be really, really important that we start to reach new areas of people who are able to donate. And I'm not sure if we can go into the TE Academy and say, hey, especially to those who are getting the boost automatically that are, have got the credential or hold TEC already to actually participate in this grant round, because I do think this is going to be really, really important for it to be successful. I think a lot of grant programs probably will have not a lot of donations. And so if we can shine in this moment to really reach out to people, it'll look really, really good for us in the next type of a grant round that we hold.
Yeah, that's also true because the discoverability on the platform right now is pretty low. Like it's honestly, the platform needs a lot of work. So it's like cool because we are doing it with the support of Gitcoin, but at the same time we're like siloed and competing against the attention of everyone for all the other rounds. So yeah, definitely agree with that. Let me know that.
And Joseph, does anybody else besides you have access to the Twitter Spaces system?
I have.
In terms of running? Okay.
Yeah. At the moment, for my knowledge, it's only me. The best person to confirm that would be Rex, because I think he's got a spreadsheet about who has the Twitter account, who has access to the Twitter account actually on their phone.
Yeah, because I mean, the pseudo kind of spotlights. The one thing that I think would be really good is if we can, and it sucks because it's on short notice, but I've been talking with everybody, all the grant application successful ones that are interested in doing a Twitter Spaces, is that we really kind of do it differently than other rounds where they just kind of host a space and everybody comes up and just shills for, whatever it is. It's kind of surface and doesn't really mean much. I'd really like to do some deep dives into these things, but that means having multiple Twitter Spaces a day, because I'm looking at the communications aspect of looking at this from Wednesday to Friday and Monday to Wednesday next week. So we have basically 6 days to really kind of really just be in the public eye with our TEC Twitter. And I know this is a tough thing, but I do think it like when looking at the facts of it, I think it would be really worth it for us to be really engaged on Twitter this week. And today I'm going to spend all day trying to set up a schedule for the Twitter. But I do think this is going to be vitally important if we want to get some donations in. But I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we do have limited capacity, so I want to take that into account as well.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I have to hop off. So I'll hand it over to you, Nate, or Beryl, or anyone who wants to take on it. And please do let me know. I'll follow up anyway, so please do let me know if there's any action items or whatever happens.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you guys.
Yep.
So we're not doing an AMA today.
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah.
Okay, we are. Okay.
Yep.
So this will be the last one. This is basically for donors and uh, the projects as well too, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be for donors for the most part, but my intuition is that there's probably going to be more projects chilling and asking questions than donors. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, thanks. See you later.
All right. Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, the other aspect of the AMA is kind of conveying that how we're going to distribute these donations and how we're going to do the matching. And so I think that's going to be a really important aspect of it too. I don't know, this is going to lie heavily on ideas from you guys, I think, in terms of how we approach this. So Joseph, I don't know if you have any ideas, Marathon Mind, Bear, you guys.
I think to save confusion is definitely I definitely would I should have told Isaac before he left is to implore, like, if you are going to tweet or like basically any communications public facing with regards to Twitter, put it in the calendar so that at least we have a record of what communications are actually being sent out, and for everyone, if you want to know what's going to be tweeted for the next day or so, you can always reference that. So that's one thing with regards to like the Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. I think like I said, if it's kind of it kind of comes down to two schemas of actually doing things. So for example, are we going to have one space to host them all? Not one space to host them all, but fewer spaces to host many, or you're going to have many spaces to host fewer? And which system or which schema will have the best odds of receiving the most eyes, if that kind of makes sense. In my opinion, I think that to do less spaces and to have more people come into those spaces, you will get more eyes on you, because you have more people in a gathered space, which means that their audiences will more likely join, and so forth and so forth. But it's all kind of down to coordination. Like for example, Nate, you're doing an outreach to the people that made it through, and also the donors. So trying to have that middle ground to be like, all right, if everyone, let's say for example this week, everyone's or most people are saying, oh, we're gonna have it on the Wednesday or the Thursday, I think we should just pick 1 or 2 days and just have it on those days, and just like kind of, if and anyone else that can't make it, then the following week you have opportunity, and then we select the median day, or the average day or whatever, that people are available, and kind of go from there. Because I feel like the only downfall of having smaller spaces, I mean not smaller spaces, but many spaces throughout the day, is that I'm not sure of the audience you might draw in, because your Twitter Spaces is only going to be hosting the people that are available. Like let's say the proposals that got through, and then they're following. Whereas then if you have one to kind of host many, then you're going to have more eyes on the space.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the hard trade-off that we have to figure out real quick, because in some of these, like the ones in green here, they are the ones that got accepted. And if you look at the grant category, there's 3 options I'm looking at right now. One is we do a ton of Twitter Spaces, which means we have disparate attention spread across the day. It's a lot of work for us, which may not be very feasible. But another idea that we could have in terms of how we approach this is categorizing them by grant category, and kind of just having a Twitter Space for each grant category between the research, education, and tooling, and allow them to come on and do kind of a deep dive for each of them in their projects, to kind of be a little bit different from the ones that I've seen today and yesterday, in terms of basically just one big Twitter space where everybody comes and chills and it's kind of unorganized and you don't really have a deep understanding of what they're trying to do or the projects they're building. So hey Tam. Yeah, so I think that there's kind of got to be a happy medium here between having a Twitter space for each of them to do a deep dive and also categorizing them in a way that makes sense for us to not have so much overhead in terms of being present. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Because I originally liked the idea that you were suggesting, Nate, of having multiple spaces with all the projects. Because yeah, I think that especially if no other rounds are doing that, I think that could be a really good benefit for ours to be able to give the community more context and more knowledge about the projects. I think that would be really cool if we could go in depth. What I also get, like Josh's point on maybe reducing the attention and the amount of people attending these multiple spaces. So I think this idea of having spaces by category, I think that could be a good way to find this middle point in between achieving the two things. So yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and so in practice, we would have probably one Twitter Spaces around the education category, one for the category, and maybe two within the tooling category. And then we just kind of select maybe ones that are very similar in their applications, or a lot of it's going to be based on their availability as well. So we're just going to have to play around with it. I'm going to try to get the finalized schedule today, and what we can do is figure exactly on this our Twitter calendar that we just started. This is what you're working from, right, Joseph?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah. That's what. So if you go to the table view, it shows it a bit better.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you go to the table view, I've already laid out Twitter Spaces spotlight for projects 1, 2, whatever. So you've kind of got the skeleton or the framework of I've just kind of put some ideas down. So definitely feel free to change dates. And this is kind of what I work off with regards to what has been done and what needs to be done, and then it definitely helps organize what I need to tweet and when and stuff like that. So any spaces or any tweets that you want to tweet, even if like, let's say I'm not available, just as long as you have it in the calendar here and when it was tweeted and stuff like that, then it helps me keep progress. So what's been tweeted and things like that.
Okay, yeah. And so I think that right now what we'll have today is the announcement, especially after the AMA, one announcement thread that we'll create for and tagging all the successful applicants. And then I'll be reaching out to all the different projects to set up the Twitter spaces. And like I said, it's looking like we'll have a 6-day period of communications that we should probably go really hard at. Like I said, most Gitcoin grant rounds have a fraction of the amount of projects that this round has because it's spread out to multiple communities. And therefore, I'm not exactly sure what to anticipate in terms of how many donations are going to be, are going to participate in this. And so I think it's really important for us to really be engaged in the communications and marketing side of this to get people donating. Because I do think if we can get, lead the round in donations for some of these projects, it'll look very good when it comes to getting sponsors for future rounds and things like that. So I think this is a really important time for us in the next 6 days, the Wednesday through Friday and Monday through Wednesday of next week, to actually get some effective communications done in terms of the different communities we reach out to. And I don't know, Bear, do you have any ideas in terms of the Token Engineering Academy and some of the messaging that we could send out to them for the boost, for example, for those with certifications to actually get them to engage?
Do you mean like some sort of official communication, or through Twitter, or?
Yeah, I still haven't really talked to Angela about, what is, acceptable in terms of engaging with the TE Academy community. But I think since this is kind of part of the grant round and they do have a project within this grant round, it'd be acceptable to do so. And include, since we're including those holding TE credentials to be accepted as having a boost as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure what would be the best way. Um, I probably think Isaac would have a better response on that front, as he being more in touch with the academy. Um, but yeah, I don't think it should be that complicated. I think there's now more trust between the groups to be able to tackle these things. So yeah, I guess it would be maybe just a matter of asking what would be kind of like the best process to reach out to the TEA community about the boosting. I don't know if it could be maybe directly into their Discord as some sort of announcement on their side, or what exactly. But if you want, I can ask guys. I can figure out a little more about this.
Yeah, I think we're relying heavily on Twitter right now as our main communication method, and I think that um, reaching out to different communities, Discords perhaps would be acceptable. I don't know if Tam, while you're here, if you have any suggestions on that, like would it be? Do you think this is something that is acceptable to say, for example, to promote in the Common Stack Discord channel, and is there an acceptable messaging format that would not be spammy or feel intrusive?
Yeah, I think we should definitely promote it in as many of our distribution partners, I think, as we can. Jess sent a really good message recently in both Common Stack and the TEC on Telegram. Have you seen those two? I think that's a really, so she does this, she has a message on Gitcoin grants promotion. I actually find these super helpful because I'm not always aware of what's going on. So when I see these kinds of messages that are super informative and helpful, I think she uses a really good format to let people know. And most Discord channels have a general channel, and I think as long as we make the message not super spammy, but very supportive and helping to have these cool projects that we've curated raise funds for the cool things that they'll be able to do. I think that there's no, I don't think there's a lot of pushback to that. I think most people appreciate it versus look at it as spammy.
Yeah, I'm looking at her message now in the Common Stack channel. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I think the big thing with donors is going to be, putting the projects that you want to donate to in your shopping cart and kind of wait for gas costs to come down at some point, or keep an eye out for when gas is low, since this is all on mainnet. Because yeah, if you're donating $15 to projects and you're paying 30 in gas, it's not really a happy ending there for it. But and then yeah, the boost is something that we really need to promote within our tweets. I think holding TEC till the end of the round. We'll take a snapshot at the end of the round for TEC holders to get that matching and boost, and the certifications as well. But yeah, outside of that, does anybody else have any ideas in terms of what they'd like to see happen in the next week and a half? Okay, so right now our plan is we have the AMA after this call, um, for the projects and donors to come and engage with the accepted projects into the round, and then we'll have the Twitter Spaces, which I'm organizing with the project's leads right now, and we'll go from there in terms of we'll put it in the schedule. We'll host probably 3 or 4 Twitter Spaces around doing little deep dives into each of the projects, and then we need to figure out exactly how to engage with other Discords and who we can engage with within the TE community. So I think that is the game plan, but it just depends on exactly. I don't know, Bear. Would you be okay with kind of crafting the message around our Discord communities, our partner Discord communities?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just also looked at the example on the common stack, and I like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So something similar to that, we can. I can definitely craft for sure, and I'll share it with you.
Okay.
Also, Bear, feel free to reach out to Jess. She really wants to find ways to support us too. I'm sure she could give you either include it with her messaging as well, or give you some of the Discords that would be the most impactful.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, definitely. I'll reach out to her. Thank you, Tom.
Does anybody have a list of kind of the Discord, like token engineering projects, like a comprehensive list? Because I don't know if anybody had made that previously, but we really do need to have that.
What do you mean? Like what type of organizations or people will fall under that list exactly? Is it like people like us, like Giveth and stuff like that, or are you talking like more widespread?
Yeah, I mean things like CAD and Token Spice and Token Engineering Labs. There are a bunch of different token engineering, Scarf, and we just I think there's I think we do need to have a comprehensive list made so we can reference it when we do have communication needs like this. Even things like MetaGov as well, I think would be really valuable to kind of just engage with in terms of these funding rounds. Because right now we're just trying to build the infrastructure to kind of set the pace for the following rounds. I think we've learned a lot so far, but I think in terms of communications, this is where we really kind of need to really look into how we're going to approach this in the future.
All right. If anything, if you just sorry, Martha, man, go for it.
I think Isaac has made a sheet for the outreach. So he has about 8-9 projects into it related to token engineering. It's there in one of the threads he's created. He's shared it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll take a look at that and build off of it. Yeah, and then really we need to figure out, maybe we can put this in Thursday's meeting, about kind of creating contact points with each of these groups and formalizing more close relationships with each of the groups. So when we do have announcements like this, we can engage with them and just make it a lot easier of a process, and where we're not trying to tiptoe or worried about the impact that we're going to have in terms of engaging. So yeah, I think I'll put that on the list for Thursday's meeting to go over and see if we can create a role around it. I don't know if that would fit in a role that we have right now, Bear, but perhaps that's something that we can solidify.
For sure, yeah, that's important. Yeah, I think could definitely fit into something related with comms. So yeah, let's work through it.
I think that's probably part of like my role. So I think part of my role is to have like a list of organizations or individuals that we need to keep in close contact with. So if Isaac's kind of got that, I can add that to the spreadsheet that I've already created with regards to who we follow and individuals and organizations and stuff, and I can just put another tab in that spreadsheet with like those like important infrastructure. I mean, those organizations, and then just put a link somewhere so that everyone has access to it.
Yeah, that sounds good too. And thank you, Joseph. Yeah, I think that fits really well with your role. And Wonka, I don't know what Gravity, like, did you guys apply to a round?
Yes, we applied to the community and education.
Okay, cool. Community education?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure to promote that.
Thank you.
And yeah, good luck with it.
Yes, thank you. I also submitted the one for the Ethereum Colombia community, and yes, also that one. If you want to support some of the work that we are leading, and in that community we are doing something cool, and is that we got some funds after DevCon, and we placed those funds in a DAO, and we distribute some tokens between the active contributors in the community, and we are like governing through the DAO the use of those resources, and it's been really cool. Right now we have 5 nodes inside the country, and like the mechanism that we've done is that you can either plan like a 3-month activity and submit a proposal to the DAO, or make an activity and then ask for a retroactive funding. So I think that from like the communities, the local communities, we are the few ones that are organizing with a DAO framework.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, we always love to hear the updates from you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and good luck with the round, and let us know if we can do anything to help. And in terms of communications, I think we kind of have our plan out right now. Keep an eye on the Twitter schedule. I will place the Twitter Spaces schedule in there, and we'll go from there. And so, does anybody else have any last minute questions, thoughts, ideas they want to get out?
Oh, just one question. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I just want the proper link to what do you call it? To where Isaac was showing us with regards to the courses that actually passed, so that I can start taking the list down and creating the tweets. Creating a tweet. I posted the link that I think it is, or if you can post, is that it? Is that the list of people that got through approved? If you can,
This
if
is
you
our
can put that,
approved list.
okay, yeah, if you can put that link, if you can put that link in the chat, and then after the meeting, I can start, putting down the
for the Twitter.
for the tweet, for the tweet, because I can start and then tweet after the meeting.
Yeah, I'll have to give you a different link than this one because this is from the Gitcoin Manager module.
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, I have it somewhere. Give me 1 minute. I'll send it to you. Does anybody else have any last minute thoughts, questions, ideas? Okay. I'll do a quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we know our plan moving forward, and we'll recap on Thursday. We'll go over the new plan for the SPI on Thursday as well. And then, yeah, let's just let's focus on getting communications out there. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everyone.
See you later.
All right. Bye, guys.